Hey guys, West End Wonder here. You probably sat there thinking, okay, your Starkid video didn't get like any views, so why are you making another one? I don't know. I just felt like it. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about my experiences like dabbling in theatre, I suppose, because technically, well, I've been in shows, if you could even call them that. I've been in two musicals, technically. I was in The Wizard of Oz and Matilda. I will be talking about those, and I will also be talking about the most recent production I've been in, which was at my school. It was a production of The Merchant of Venice. But first, I'm just gonna kind of give you a background info on my theatre career. I'm not even gonna bother calling it that. So I started going to a theatre group that is literally like 2 minutes away from where I live at my dad's house. I started going to that every Saturday mornings. I don't go there anymore because it's just kind of an inconvenience for me because I've got other things going on. AKA I like to get more hours of sleep in the morning because I had to wake up at like 8 every morning just to go. Which, yeah, I like my sleep, so it doesn't really work well for me. But, oh, while I talk in the video, I'm going to be holding up this just to make everyone that little bit more jealous. Yeah, I saw Hamilton in the West End, like, I want to say 3 months ago now, and I am still not over it. That probably does better for the lighting, actually, instead of just blinding you. But let me just get into my theatre escapades. So I went to this drama group, and we put on productions. I'm trying to remember, I think we did The Wizard of Oz first. I might have completely butchered that. I have no recollection. Now, I didn't have many friends at this drama group because they all went to one school and all the girls and the few boys that went there, they all knew each other. I didn't know any of them, but I remember there was like a couple of really nice girls there called like Cara and Ruby, but I never really saw them again after drama group, so yeah, maybe not the closest bond of friendship. But yeah, so we started preparations for The Wizard of Oz. Now, at the time, I knew I just liked to act. I didn't know that I liked musicals. So when they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to be doing The Wizard of Oz," I was like, "Okay, I know the story vaguely, but that's about it." And in the production, oh god, I'm trying to remember. It was over a year or two ago. I was a citizen and a flying monkey. I'm sure of something else, but I don't remember. Now, when it came to The Wizard of Oz, it was a good production, but something went wrong, because I'm me, something goes wrong fairly often for me. I can't remember if it was the night performance or the morning performance. I think it was the night performance. It was opening night of The Wizard of Oz, and I fudged up my lines. So I want to say 3 lines to say in one particular scene as the citizen. I said my first line fine, and then I said the second line, or I said the third line as the second line. So basically I said my first line, and then I said the second line, which was meant to be my first line. I said something like, "You'll need to talk to the Guardians," but that wasn't my line, that was my next line. What I was meant to say was, "Oh, those ruby shoes, I'm sure I recognize them," or something, because we were talking to Dorothy and her friends. And, yeah, I fudged it up. I said, "You'll need the Guardians," realised my mistake, then went, okay, "You'll need the Guardians." I said it like twice. It was kind of a fudge up on my behalf, and I remember just standing on the stage thinking, crap, I think my theatre debut, opening night, and I fudge up my lines. Yeah, it was, not great, I have to admit, it was not my proudest moment, but the morning performance went okay. But if I'm honest, I didn't really connect with The Wizard of Oz as a show. I think I connected more with Matilda, but I think that's just because at the time I didn't really care about The Wizard of Oz. Nowadays I really like Wicked, so, you know, yeah. Now we're going to talk about, oh, I can't breathe, the production of Matilda that I was in. This was with the same theatre company, and I only did 2 shows with them, The Wizard of Oz and Matilda. I should have mentioned this earlier, but I didn't. So now we go on to Matilda. Nothing went wrong in Matilda. I was just kind of a little bean. I didn't really know the story of Matilda. I remember, I think the leader of the group was called Jess, and she said, okay, so we're going to be doing Matilda. All the girls were like, oh my god, Matilda, I love Matilda, yes, 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 can I be Matilda, can I be this part, can I be that part, can I be Miss Trunchbull? And I was just sat in my little plastic chair thinking, I don't know Matilda, I know that it's a Roald Dahl book, and that's it. I think I knew that there was a movie, but I don't think I'd read the book, or if I had read the book, I'm just going to try and block out the light. If I had read the book, then it was a long time ago. And I'd never watched the movie, hadn't ever listened to the soundtrack, so I was just kind of like, cool, I guess. I was just happy that we were doing like an official show, I guess, because Matilda's been in the West End and on Broadway. I haven't seen it on either. I've never seen a Broadway show. I've seen 3, technically 4 West End productions, falsettos. So I saw Hamilton, 6, Les Miserables, and Falsettos, which closed yesterday. I want to cry. It was such a good show when I saw it. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. I just lose my train of thought quite often, and I start talking about something else. Yeah. So I was in Matilda, and I remember, so we were practicing, rehearsing stuff. I was the thing is, they couldn't decide if they wanted me to be a big child or a small child, because I was roughly the same height as the other kids, but I think I was just more mature in what I said, so I think they were conflicted as to what they wanted me to be, so like, let's make her a big child and a small child, because the woman was listing off who would be what. There wasn't really a cast list, and if there was, they just read it out to us. And then they read out, okay, small children, blah, 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 blah. Eleanor, I was like, okay, I'm a small child. And then she read out the big kids, and she was like, Tom, blah, 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 you, yeah, yeah. And Eleanor, I was like, so I'm both. And I don't know, it was just kind of a confusing scenario, but if it meant I got more stage time, I really didn't care. I wasn't going to bring it up, because I'm like that. And I also had the role as the doctor. Now, nothing went wrong when I did Matilda, but I remember the night or the morning before opening night, I was just going through, because I was also cast as the doctor as well as the school child. I had a big chunk to learn, and I was just kind of like going through it with my dad, like, Dad, I'm not going to be able to learn this massive paragraph by the show tonight. And I remember him saying, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to put, because I had a clipboard, like a medical clipboard, we're going to put your script onto the clipboard. And then I was like, I don't know if they're going to let me do that, and it doesn't feel very professional, but I knew that it was probably too late for me to properly learn my lines, because the show was later on. And I spoke to the woman before opening night, and I asked, look, I'm not very confident in my lines, so can I just kind of clip them on to my clipboard, my page? And she was like, yeah, whatever. Because I think she was too busy with the 4 Matildas, because just like in, I think, the West End production of Matilda has 4 Matildas, something to do with like child laws or something. Kind of like Falsettos, they had 4 Jasons, but it's different, because in Matilda, I think all 4 Matildas are on stage, or I don't know how it works. I've never seen the show, but I know that in our production of Matilda, we had 4 Matildas, 4 girls playing Matilda, and they'd all be on for different parts. So in the scene where I can't remember what the name of the librarian is, but when Matilda is explaining her story to the librarian, it would be put in different chunks. So at one point Matilda would be telling the story, then we'd go to another scene, and then when we come back to the story, it would be a different Matilda, a different girl playing Matilda telling the story. I don't know why they went like that. I guess it's just a creative decision, and it just makes for less line learning, which I understand. Having a lead role is hard. I don't really have much experience in having a lead role. I was I was Judas in a production of Easter Sunday, and I was St. Patrick in a St. Patrick's Day assembly, and I think that's all I've really had when it comes to main roles. And then, yeah, everything went fine in Matilda, but I remember because my big scene as the Doctor was right in the beginning. I think I more or less opened the show, and my granddad, who came to see the performance, was late coming to see it. He missed the entire first bit, and he only got to see. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, I got to perform the school song, and it was probably the most fun part of the musical. It was kind of challenging having to like whip out all the letters, because it goes so quickly, like and even if you put in lots of effort, just wasting energy, because your life, as you know, is ancient history. It was kind of hard, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun to perform. They had a lot of creative decisions that were really interesting and pretty smart, if I do say so. But like I said, my granddad came late, and he missed the part with me as the Doctor, and he was like, "She wasn't on very much, was she?" And my mum just kind of looked at him like, maybe if you weren't late, then you would have known that she was on. I'm asking you who's on first. Okay, sorry. Now finally, I'm gonna wrap this up because it's like 11 minutes long, and yeah, that's pretty long. We're gonna briefly talk about a production of The Merchant of Venice that I was in last year. I don't know what the production, my school production is gonna be this year, but I will try out for it like I did last year. We did The Merchant of Venice, and I was the court clerk, and I honestly did not have a lot to learn. I had one big paragraph. I was only in two scenes. I was in the opening scene. I just walked across the stage with the Duke and the other people that worked for the Duke. I just walked across the stage and that was it. And then during the court scene, I just read out a letter, and that was all I did in the production, really. But I remember we got pizza. We got pizza after opening night, and it was great, because I know how in American schools the theatre kids go to IHOP. We get pizza delivered to us instead of IHOP. Yeah, that's just how it works in Britain. We're poor. But I do remember, because it's a Shakespeare show, The Merchant of Venice is Shakespeare, it's hard to learn lines because it's kind of spoken in old English, iambic pentameter, however it's called. I'm in year 8. I have no idea what iambic pentameter is. But the poor girl playing Portia, she did a lovely job. But Portia has a lot to learn. And I think it just kind of caught up with her, and she kind of broke down. And I felt really bad for her because she was really sweet. But it was a good production, and we got pizza. But it just made me realise how hard it is to perform Shakespeare. And if I am in the next school performance, I really hope it's not another Shakespeare show. They're fun to do, but not fun to learn by any stretch. Okay, so one more show off of Hamilton. I think that's it for this video. It was probably like really boring, and the lighting is really frustrating. I've always seemed to have bad lighting in my videos. Oh, that was my throat. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. In my next video, who knows what I'll do, because I remember towards the end of the school holidays, I tried to record on my iPad a 60 musical review, and I tried to send it to my phone in order to upload it to YouTube, but my iPad won't allow that, so I'm just going to keep trying to upload this 60 musical review. But until then, I guess I'll see you in the future. Bye.